everyone, I'm the Mighty Blues, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Last time, Nagito dropped the biggest bomb ever! I'm not even gonna tell you what it was. Go watch last episode. We're gonna learn what the hell Nagito was talking about at the end of the last episode. I know is hell a swear word? I don't know. I don't care. Nagito, please! I'm not, this intro doesn't exist. There is no intro. What are you talking about, Nagito?
Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers. Seriously, let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it? At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
Ah! You said opening act again!
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
Oh my god, Gundam, really? Really? That's your argument? We already know! Nagito confirmed that!
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, you wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing. Which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Nagito, please shut him up.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
That's wrong. When something is obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome. It's Nagito! It's literally Nagito used the Secret Passageway. Like, that's obvious.
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House...
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
Yeah,
How
this
much
is
longer
easy.
do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun on this. This is obvious. This is so damn obvious. Of course there's a secret passageway. We saw Nagito use it. That's the reward for the fun house. Or for the final dead room. It's not the only means of travel, dumbass.
No, that's wrong.
No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
And this is why I didn't think Nagito was the killer. He used all this stuff after the investigation had started. Why would he go through all of that, show us that he did it, only to then be the killer at the very end? That doesn't make any sense.
You're the only one! Nagito, you should know.
What are you talking about?
Oh my god, Nagito, shut the fuck up and actually start being helpful.
Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right?
Yeah, Nagito, why are you here? Because I showed up, and yeah, he's being
There's a secret
stupid about
passage
it.
connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up. But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down, surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Meaning, the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame! However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
How would you be unaware of its existence? I can justify being unaware of the reward of the final dead room as the killer. But how would you be unaware of the existence? The door to the room has a creepy fucking clown on it.
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion.
Oh my god, Gundam, are you serious?
If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
There's no way I can stop.
Did you say? Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous, Gundam. Okay, I don't understand this at all.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole.
What?
However, how frail I say.
What?
Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
Jesus Christ, this is insane! This argument is exhausting. Just listening to it makes me tired. Skillfully cut back his words so we can...
Even if
yeah,
the turbid
okay,
box
God, these
doesn't
are such small hitboxes!
You could travel through multiple...
I can't back down!
Okay. Come on! There we go! Woo!
I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
What? Okay. Probably try providing the evidence that the killer went to the Octagon, right? That's the case. I should have to too. The key dwells in the light that will break through the darkness.
Know the limits of your own
I don't know what
reasoning.
it is though.
You say the killer went to the Octagon?
I don't know how to prove that.
If you don't want to drown, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light.
God damn it!
Damn it!
I don't.
If the turbid box...
Fucking. I don't. Wait, the wire! Wait, the wire is proof that the killer went to the. So is the wire actually the ultimate weapon, or is that just what they got from the final dead room?
You could travel through more bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom...
It is the wire! So was the wire the ultimate weapon or not? Because I know Nagito keeps saying that...
Nekomaru's body.
Well, Nagito keeps saying that the tower itself is the ultimate weapon. Well, I guess the wire wouldn't have to be the ultimate weapon for the killer to get it from the octagon. They could have just gotten it from there anyways. But yeah, I guess that does confirm it.
The hammer that looked like the weapon, and the chain on the door in the tower. Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the octagon. There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the octagon.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
It seems this is the end. Normally, we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case. But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act, so I'm going to end this right now.
Hey, what are you...
First of all, by messing with all the clocks in the building, Gundam tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably broken by that point. Thanks to that, Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point. So he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties, but even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
And, without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay? Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru, so by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Hold on! What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me! Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all! Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
It appears I cannot finish just yet. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot finish!
What do you intend to do?
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button. However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
Easy, you could just use one of your hamsters to do it, Gundam. Like that, like you're the perfect candidate for that. You have 4 hamsters. One of them could have easily crawled up Nekomaru's neck and pressed the button. It's so simple.
It's not easy to get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
Yeah, but Nekomaru wouldn't have noticed if there was a hamster. He wouldn't have cared. He would have been like, ooh, cute hamster.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Just as I thought, truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument, it was just a mere illusion.
Wow, Gundam, how ironic that you're the one saying that, because you're succumbing so easily to a simple argument! You literally fell for the, you got angry because you got called chicken! You pulled a Marty McFly!
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied. Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat. First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And as for the other, you must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
I guess you really don't want to admit it. Then, just as you requested, I will provide an argument that I'll leave you no choice but to be persuaded. Are we doing the panic talk action? Panic talk action! That means this trial is over!
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you!
Oh,
For the
shoot!
Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David
Shoot!
prophesied!
I am messing up so badly! Oh my god! God, no!
I won't let you!
Hang on. Fever! Fever, there we go, fever go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, woo! I gotta utilize my fever as soon as it starts to disappear. Okay.
Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so
The
easily?
4 Dark Devas.
This is the end.
I was starting to panic at the PTA right at the very end. So glad I had fever.
You should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck.
With the hamsters!
As long as you have the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Oh?
That response just, oh, my hamsters, my super stuffed, my super fluffed up beans, my, I don't know why I'm just trying to think of Gundam would do the oh, my boobies, except for his hamsters.
Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Yes, because it's so inconspicuous and easy.
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been possible for Gundams.
Because we've already confirmed that they can press buttons. He did it earlier in Strawberry Tower.
In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
I realized partway through this trial that was a hint as to who the killer was going to be. I didn't make the, obviously I made the connection in the back of my head, but I'm like, there's no way that was actually a hint, right? This confirms it was. Yep, Supernova Silver Fox. So yeah, we know that the hamsters can press a button.
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved a piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting, right?
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Nekomaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are. I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say you admit it?
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses. You cannot find peace without sacrifice anywhere. Now, trample this life. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road. Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own 2 hands.
Alright, closing argument. Let's begin! Alright, let's see. What do we got for our stock? Woke up. Fuyuhiko can't sleep. Messing with the contact elevator. Alarm set for 5:30. It's 5 a.m. right now. Kiss the pillar. Kiss the pillar, damn it! Alright. Who set the lounge's alarm clock? It must have been the killer, but we're not going to do that just yet. Who was in the lounge since early morning? Fuyuhiko. Then what time did Fuyuhiko see Nekomaru? Right there. Nekomaru went out there. Got the hamsters! Oh my gosh, the hamsters are so cute, dude! That is adorable! Alright, the wire wrapped around Nekomaru's feet. The killer destroyed what after leaving the tower? Contact elevator. No! Okay. What was the fake weapon left at the tower? The hammer. Who gathered at the lounge? Why did Nekomaru fall? Hajime would have heard that. Alright, let's see. Kane also heard something from her room. Hamster pressed the button. Alright, let's just start from the beginning. Who's at the lounge's clock? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But Nekomaru's weakness is the good night button. Wire wrapped around Nekomaru's feet. Hamster pressed the button. No? Okay. Killer destroyed wood after leaving the tower. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. There was a fake weapon left at the tower. That was the hammer who gathered at the lounge. It would have been these three. And then... Why did Nekomaru fall? The hamster pressed the button! No. Okay. Oh, duh! The hamster pressed the button there. Okay. Lounge's alarm clock was set there. Okay. When you press the button to the Great Hall. Alright, let's look. Wire wrapped around Nekomaru's feet. Would it be Nekomaru dangling? No. Was a fake weapon left at the tower. That was the hammer. Why did Nekomaru fall? Handle broke. Alright, last stock. So we really don't have much. We basically have what? One thing? Killer destroyed what after leaving the tower? They broke the Strawberry Hall. And then what? Oh, here we go. I'm missing another. Wire wrapped around Nekomaru's feet. Hung it around the doorknob.
Here's everything that happened in this case. Let's first go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the crime. First, they destroyed the contact elevator. This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House. Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House lounge and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m. After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the Octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final dead room. This means the killer discovered the secret of the funhouse faster than anybody else. That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building. On the morning of the incident, Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Grape Tower for a specific reason. there, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru. According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m., but by that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Taichi begins. Nekomaru went to Grape Tower to participate in that. However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Grape Tower. So he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower. But the killer was waiting for him there. With the power of hamsters, they were able to press the good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck. This forced him to enter sleep mode, rendering him immobile. From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon. First, they set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up. Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob. After leaving Strawberry Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall. They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower, and to keep us from discovering the secret of the building structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House. After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending, and Nekomaru's body was still inside, dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer entered Grape Tower to see if their setup was successful, and placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back to their room using the secret passage, so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge. As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, actually 7:30. To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others. When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up. He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob, but because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking. Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor. He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact, and died. The sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room. They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge. That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
Splendid. That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Stop. Stop it already. Stop using weird words to avoid the truth. Or I'll friggin' kill you myself!
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe. You killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that!
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret? Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for Gundam Tanaka! My beloved, deadly foes, let the voting time begin!
I gotta know why. I gotta know his reasoning behind this. Why? Why Nekomaru in particular? Is it discrimination? Like, did he see Nekomaru differently because he was a robot? Because like it doesn't make sense.
This result isn't all that exciting. Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Please pull the lever! Crap! I bit my tongue at the most important part!
It'd be bad if I bit my tongue again, so I'll speak slowly. Judging from the results, you guys are correct once again! Getting 4 in a row without any mistakes is a splendid achievement. That's right! The one who killed the robotic Nekomaru in the amazing funhouse was Gundam Tanaka!
Nice!
Yay! I said all that without biting my tongue!
Now then.
Now that we've decided who the killer is, let's do the execution already and get this over with. Hold on. It's true the class trial is finished, but that doesn't mean the incident is over. We can't finish yet until we hear it from Gundam.
Jeez.
No matter what he says, it won't change a thing. Well, I have no right to stop you either, so do whatever you like. Why do you want to talk to one who is lost? The loser merely leaves. It would be unnecessary for me to say something.
Listen well.
Is what I would like to say, but for honor's sake, I shall correct one thing. Correct? You guys said I made Nekomaru powerless without fighting him. That, however, is a great mistake.
Fine.
Nekomaru did fight. That is no mistake. And because he fought, he lost. And died.
Damn it!
Lost and died?
This, too,
If
must
he
be
was
the
just
will
trying to
of
cling to
causality.
life, there are many ways he could have done so. However, he did not allow that.
You.
What do you mean? Explain! Fine then. Then I shall reveal it all.
Let's make history.
Within the final dead room, I discovered the secret of the funhouse. And I devised a killing plan utilizing that secret. By tampering with all the clocks in the building, I succeeded in luring Nekomaru to the tower. And this is what happened. Nekomaru and I were alone in the tower, standing face to face with one another. I should say I expected as much from Nekomaru. He sensed my subtle killing intent and instantly understood the situation. And we had ourselves a stare down. In that situation, if he wanted to run away, it would have been easy for him to do so. He could have run away, or even called for help. But he did not turn his back to me. Instead, he chose a fight that risked life and death.
That is...
A fight that risked life and death?
Let me tell you.
He was serious, too. He gave it his all to try to kill me. Huh? If I had died instead, the mystery surrounding the case would have been even more complicated. You would never know why I, the victim, went to the tower by myself.
I can see it!
Nobody would know that the victim, me, was actually the one who planned the whole thing.
Could it be?
Nekomaru really did that? I mean, it makes sense knowing Nekomaru as a person.
Sensing even my subtle killing intent, as expected of you, Nekomaru.
This scourging, stinging, tense atmosphere. I've been a team manager for so long, I'd nearly forgotten this. This is great! What a comforting atmosphere!
That's a great line.
And what is your reason? Do you intend to resolve this situation by killing me?
I am the Warlock, Gundam Tanaka! Heroes, Lords of Darkness, and even the gods themselves flee from me! I need not cling to any trivial reason. I'm simply going to kill you because your very existence is an annoyance!
You'll drench your soul with evil until the bitter end, huh? Splendid! In response to your spirit, I shall kill you with all of my might! I won't go easy on you! Don't even think about holding back! Don't waste your breath on cowardly tactics! Give me everything you got!
Nekomaru need I! Your blood will drench the foundation of my empire!
That is...
Why? Why did you fight? We were all friends. Why couldn't you stop this? Even if both sides agreed, it was still wrong. I will not argue. I have no intention of forcing my values upon you.
Let me tell
However,
you this.
I must say this. What's the point of living if you're just waiting until you finally die?
You weakling!
There's nothing courageous about that. That is abandonment, a mere feeling of resignation. I feel like he's targeting this towards Hajime. Yeah, Hajime took the bait. You telling us he's waiting until we starve to death? I'd rather that, yep. So this is Gundam's very indirect way of saying, I killed for survival. I killed so I could live. This was just a clash of morals, honestly. And Nekomaru was the perfect victim for Gundam. It wasn't even like a discrimination thing. It wasn't even just like he didn't like the fact that Nekomaru was a robot. It was purely just because, like, yeah, Nekomaru would have taken the challenge on directly, and that would have aligned with Gundam's values. I guess it makes sense. Ever since we were locked inside that building, everyone had been dominated by that feeling of abandonment. However, nothing is born from resignation. That is simply a reason to give up. So if Gundam would have lost that fight, the killer would have been Nekomaru. It was one or the other.
If you flinch, you will die!
Giving up on life. That's just an insult to life itself.
Let me ask.
Have you fools heard of the term dog eat dog? Cannibalism?
Fine.
In zoology, cannibalism is a commonly observed phenomenon. Many creatures at some point in their lifespan engage in cannibalism.
Listen well.
That is what it means to live. If you say killing for the sake of living is evil, then what would you call giving up on life itself? God, you know, I feel like I feel like that's a great argument against veganism. I'm not saying that I hate vegans. I'm just saying that would actually be a really interesting argument towards veganism. If a world would consider that justice, then I will fight that world with every last fiber of my being. I also find it very interesting that Gundam, who clearly takes passion in zoology, considering he's the ultimate breeder, would go along with that argument. I find that very interesting. Giving up on life and choosing death is nothing but a blasphemy towards life.
I renounce
It is a violation of the natural order. It is the arrogance of humanity.
You.
Are you saying all that just to justify what you did? Yeah, technically, yes, but when you think about it, knowing the psychology of the people we're dealing with, it all just makes sense. It's kind of the thing that's like, you know what? I can actually accept this justification. Doesn't make it right, but I can justify it. But it sounds like Nekomaru felt the same too. That's why they fought, right?
Damn it.
Yeah, Kane understands that part at least.
Fine.
That man had the courage to die when he needed to die. That is why he challenged me to our battle. Regardless, as I've already said, I do not intend to force my values upon you fools. I have betrayed you all. That is the absolute truth.
Fall,
But
my tears.
even so, don't you think it's a better alternative to slowly starving to death here?
Oh,
That belief is why you committed your crime.
you...
Hey, what about the final dead room? Did you do the Russian roulette too?
Let's make history.
Unlike Nagito, I only did it once, but compared to my battle with Nekomaru, that was mere child's play.
Well,
You know, after listening to you talk for a while, I'm starting to think that... Well, it's also because you unexpectedly admitted your crime without much resistance.
Gundam, don't tell me you didn't sacrifice yourself for our sake, did you? I can't believe you would ask such a foolish question.
My name
Just who
is
do you
Gundam
think
Tanaka.
I am? I am Gundam Tanaka, history's greatest monster. My cursed existence is feared by all mankind. There's no way I'd sacrifice myself for the sake of you fools. But would you sacrifice yourself for Sonya?
Fade like
Not
dust
in a
the wind.
million, not in a billion, not in 10,000 billion years. In the name of pandemonium, it is impossible. Is that it? Then I'll just leave it at that. Now then, let us be rid of this foolish talk. It's about time the fun started. Monokuma, let us begin!
Yes, indeed.
Yay! Got it! I have prepared a special punishment for the ultimate breeder, Gundam Tanaka!
Please wait.
Please wait! This is too much!
I beg of you.
Please, Monokuma! Please help Gundam!
Huh?
Miss Sonya!
I beg of you.
Please! I beg of you!
How pitiful.
Sonya, as an act of unrefined as stopping a man from going to his death does not benefit a noble such as yourself. Gundam!
Is it fine to start for reals? Right?
Fine.
Yes, I do not mind. However,
What is it, my four dark Devas of destruction?
oh no! The hamsters are sad he's dying!
Are you worried about me? Oh, my feared four dark Devas of destruction. That is not like you at all. However, there is no need to fear. In this world, I am only a temporary visitor. I was simply visiting for a moment, and now that my duty is complete, I must return to the darkness. That is why, until the very end, pride, conceit, courage, insolence, fearful of nothing, daunted by nothing. Let us laugh uproariously! That is Gundam Tanaka! I shall stick with my evil until the very end! Open sesame pandemonium! I shall fill hell with true hell!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
So who's gonna take care of the hamsters? Gundam! No! No! Even after Gundam is gone, the spirit of his parting words still lingering deep in our chests. Don't give up on life. Did I misunderstand what he meant? Then what's the right thing to do? I don't know. No matter how much I think about it, I don't know if I'll ever be able to answer that.
Damn it.
Damn it. Damn it! I'm so pissed off. I need to throw something.
Damn it!
You all spent so much time worrying about each other, and thanks to that, things ended up like this. You're all full of shit. Every last one of you. But the biggest piece of shit is me.
The worst.
Damn it. Why am I so weak?
Oh.
It's such a downer, clearly. But still, even though we feel this way, we still gotta do our very best.
You are right.
You are right. This time around, we must move forward. We must continue to live and believe in our friends. If not,
You are right.
Gundam will most likely crawl his way out of hell, and I presume he will be very cross with us. You're right. You're right. We shouldn't just stand here. I mean, it's not like this is over. We still have to do it. We still have to finish this. For the sake of our friends who have died, we need to finish this once and for all. So, don't just stand there. Stand up and walk. Move forward. Live. If you don't, everyone who fought and died will have died in vain. We can't allow that.
Hey! Hey!
I feel like everyone at some point in their life should clash with these words. You know, forcing, you know, you can't... Giving up on life is not life itself. You know, I feel like a lot of people either have or should have those thoughts in their head. And as someone who had a very tumultuous point in their life where they did give up, I did have a period of time where I truly gave up on life. I do not look on those points in my life fondly.
So how long are you guys gonna stand around chattering? The class trial is over, so it's okay for you to hurry back to Jabberwock Island. However, the killing school trip will proceed as usual, so make sure you know that. Wait! Hold on! How much longer are you gonna keep doing this?
Seriously, how long is he gonna keep doing this? How long is this going to continue?
Now then.
Alright, after feeling down for so long, I finally feel refreshed. Let's hurry back and eat some food.
Hey!
Hold on a sec! That mood shift is too damn fast!
It's not like that.
Well, you know, it's like Gundam and Nekomaru said. That's what it means to live, right? Oh. Man, this... It is. It's such a bittersweet thing, you know? Yeah, these characters were forced to be in a shitty situation. But these words of motivation are what's helping them move forward. God. You know, going back to what I was saying before about how I had those periods of time in my life where, you know, I gave up on life. I had a period of time in my life where I genuinely didn't care if I lived or died, and I was very public about it. I was very open about my feelings. I basically wore it on my shoulder about how much I felt the desire to die. And that never got better. It only got worse to the point that I actually planned my own suicide. I never acted out upon it. Because plain and simple, I didn't trust the world enough to take care of the things that I still cared about. I didn't have much that I cared about, but I still had a few things, like my pet, like my cat, that I cared enough about that I didn't trust the world. I didn't trust anyone on this plane of existence enough to care for him while I was gone. And that gave me hope. That gave me the will to live. And eventually more happiness came my way. And truthfully, you know, I didn't have people. Like in this situation, that told me to latch onto that will to live. I didn't have that. Everyone around me just told me to give up. So I very easily could have. I had media. I had stories to tell me to keep living. As horrendous of an example as this is, Fire Punch is usually one that I often refer back to. Absolutely disturbing manga. But that, you know, that will to live, that desire to keep going is, a very big theme of that story, and I appreciated it for that. It's a very deep message, and I'm actually very glad that Danganronpa covers it, especially in this way. It's a very impactful message. I mentioned that in the last trial that it felt very pointless. It felt like everyone's deaths meant nothing, and that was very frustrating. This one doesn't. This one feels like the character's deaths meant something. It's impactful. It's a motivation. And I very much appreciate that. I kind of wish the last trial would have had that as well. That way the characters could get the respect they deserve, but I guess not. But with that said, I actually think we're going to end things off here. Let me know how you guys feel about this trial in the comments, because I'm very intrigued. And I'll see you all later for more Danganronpa 2. Goodbye!